All right, guys, welcome to Horrors of History. And while we still have some daylight and the beautiful church in the background, I don't want to get too much closer to it. I don't want to set off any alarms or have any of the town's finest come over and harass me. But as we are here, welcome. We're going to be talking about a Freya Freaky Friday situation. We're going to go into talking a little bit about beliefs of the afterlife, my theories. What are your theories? I know I disabled comments on here, but I'll have something linked up inside of the blog where you guys can answer your theories inside of that. Now, we all know, if you haven't, let me enforce this, that I am Wiccan. I do come back from a Christian background. I started in a Methodist church. I was an altar boy for a long time. I had a very nice minister, Reverend Bridge. He's also the gentleman, by the way, that not only got me into Scouts, but he also got me into history. As much as my mother did, Reverend Bridge told some great stories about the American Civil War that got me hooked. Every one of his sermons had something to do with the Civil War or the Great War or World War II. The way that he spoke put the man upstairs definitely in the spotlight, but it also put the men that served for that man upstairs inside the spotlight. They were sharing it together. Although, the man upstairs being the general and the other guys down below being NCOs, privates, and other officers. Now, as time would go, I would actually lose a lot of faith in the church system. When you have to pass around an altar for money to belong somewhere, or to say that you got to worship to God with cash inside there. Now, I get places need money to keep it running, but some places were off asking for paychecks amounts, like a certain amount out of my paycheck to belong. I can't do that. That doesn't seem right to me. The monetary dollar as we know it, we go back into the ancient Egyptian times. They had trade. They have certain, monetary currency, and yes, they still had to pay for services from their religious services as well, for final costs and everything, except for the pharaohs and everything, and high-end people. It was already paid for, so that didn't have to happen. As I got older, I researched a lot of the Wiccan religion. Now, keep it in mind, one of the reasons I thought it was okay is one of my ancestors actually came from the dark forest. It was my great-grandmother, and she did practice. And as we get back into that, I would go into school, pick up books. I even ended up getting suspended for researching the Wiccan religion in a book that was there because it had nudity in it, and I was looking at it in the middle of the school, the library. I didn't know what was in that. It was the first time picking it out. The foolish librarian thought I brought it there, not looking into the back where it said property of Coventry Library, and yet I still got suspended. That was enough to actually fuel me to say, okay, this is upsetting me. I want to know more. One of my friends, Santiago Ramos, bless you, my friend, his mother was Wiccan as well. They got in a little bit of trouble from the school too, threatening to actually take the kid away because she practiced, not knowing how peaceful that religion really is. So as the time would go, I'd keep practicing. When I got into the Army, I had no choice but to say I was Methodist, although now the Wiccan religion is an option. And as I would go, I would look into some of the gods, and yeah, some of them were really cool, especially the Norse ones, the Greek ones, but I have more attachment to the Egyptian gods than I do anything else. Let's talk a little story about that. You see, there's a festival that comes around in September, really cool, the Egyptian festival down in I think it's Cranston. The church is huge, beautiful church if you ever get a chance to see it. The people, so nice. I mean, you walk into that festival, they're welcoming you. The smells are welcoming you. The music is welcoming you, especially me. I shut off the modern times, and I put myself back into ancient Egypt. This church still recognizes the ancient gods. It's how the Egyptians do it. It's not like they ignore them. They're part of their history. Now, as I was there, I'm there with my ex at the time and my little girls, I should say, because Adora was there too. Happy birthday, by the way, Adora. And as I'm sitting there, my oldest puts on the Cleopatra outfit. Now, I don't know any, red-blooded male that would not have found Cleopatra attractive back then, never mind now. That wasn't the point. The point was the minute she put that stuff on, I started to cry. Why did I start to cry? Because 6 years prior, my mother had passed away. I hadn't mourned her. I hadn't had time to do that. The energy from that, I've mostly anger from her leaving me, not sadness. The minute my daughter put that on, it was almost like Osiris whispered into my ear, "Let her go, we have her." When I let her go, I couldn't stop crying. Not even my ex reached out to hug me to see if I was okay. However, the ladies there, the Egyptian ladies, they were hugging me, seeing if I was all right. And they went to get the minister, who also sat down with me to talk and brought me into the church to talk to me about the situation. That meant a lot. The gods had spoken to me. And as I'm leaving, I look down and I see a statue. There's a statue of Ra. Beautiful statue. He had to come home with me. I wear his symbol around my wrist every day now for protection. When I took the statue home, 2 years it sat perfectly on our altar. Nothing messed with it. This is going to get rough, all right? So until the day that we actually separated, my ex actually noticed that across the statue where the heart would be, it cracked. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. She asked me to get rid of it. I did. I went and I buried it. It's buried next to my mother. Because I knew that my mother, this is how I'm ending this, was die hard into the Egyptian religion, just like I was in the Egyptian history. So the gods, they're taking care of her right now, the goddesses. Moda is taking care of me. She has swooped me under her wings to coddle me like the mother she is and guide me in the right direction. Some of the other gods have tempted me. The goddess of love, she tempted me, Hosa. And some of the other gods have tempted me in other ways. My religious belief, this is where I'll end it as, is if I don't do things the right way that I'm doing it now, next time where I go to see Anubis and I'm in front of that scale, if my heart does not outweigh Osiris's feathers, that creature will swallow me up, regurgitate me back onto this planet, and I will have to relive this stuff all over again. And I do not want to. I want to be up there. I want to be with the gods and all the heroes. And I know they'll let me cross over and talk to some of them, Colonel Chamberlain and whatever heroes that are up there. That is my wish. I don't need video games. I don't need an endless buffet of cheeseburgers or pizza. Just an everyday conversation with someone that means a lot to me is my heaven. And I hope you guys find your heaven as well. This has been a Freya Freaky Friday, and I got a little spiritual with you guys. I want you to enjoy your Fridays, and keep in mind, Freya is a little spicy. So if you got that someone on the side of you, spice it up. Freya says it's okay.